I have goosebumps right now. And to think there are some who would prefer to prevent people like Mariella from coming to our great country. I so appreciate the work that you all are doing to welcome people like her into our country and to add to our richness. And one thing that she said, which is not lost on me, her parents, her family are still there. So when we all go back home to our loved ones and hug the people that mean the most to us, just think about her. Just think about her. Okay. Christian Vanizette grew up in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but he was far from disconnected. See, Christian had a passion for change. Not only did he want to make change happen at home, he also wanted to connect with other change makers around the world. So he pretty much broke the internet. Christian creatively engineered an online platform called Make Sense. So Make Sense rallies activists in 146 countries around the world to help social entrepreneurs solve their challenges. Because more than an organization, Christian has actually inspired a movement of global citizens who are passionate about crowdsourcing real-time solutions for today's most pressing social changes. And so now I would most humbly like to present to you Mr. Christian Vanizette.
So, hello everyone. How are you? Good? Yeah. So I have a strong French accent, as you can notice. But because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to speak in front of so many people, it's the first time for me. Thank you, Point of Lights. I would like to take a picture for my mom. Is it okay? So if you can all do the peace sign, you know, like, okay, perfect. And you can say one love, you know, like Mike said it yesterday. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Cool, thank you. Okay. So, when I was a kid, I was dreaming of changing the world. And for me, it didn't seem impossible because my world was Tahiti. I'm sure you don't even know where's Tahiti. It's a really, really small island that you can see in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You just have 200,000 people living there. But changing Tahiti is a family thing. My grandpa, that you can see on this picture, was in the Navy. He arrived there, got engaged into politics, and he created the social security to provide free access to healthcare to everyone on the island. Luckily, when I turned 16, as I was saying, the internet arrived. It was a way for my generation to discover the world, but also to share our thoughts online. And so, inspired by my grandpa, I started the first political blog of the island, starting to share ideas of how things could be better in our little community. And quickly, I realized the true power of digital technology. You could tell what you stand for and quickly gather people around you that stand for the same thing. But I got quickly frustrated about two things. The first one is that politicians were hearing our ideas, but change was happening too slowly. We needed a more active form of engagement. The second thing that frustrated me a lot was that the biggest threat my island was facing is climate change. And there's nothing you could do about climate change from Tahiti. So the internet made me realize that all humans are connected, but climate change made me realize that all our problems are super connected. And that even if you're on the other side of the world. So a few years ago, I decided to take my backpack to quit the island, and I went all around the world to meet entrepreneurs and nonprofit leaders who were already solving all those problems. I've met entrepreneurs working on solutions for climate change, poverty, education, healthcare in every corner of the globe. And we would use a digital platform we built for all those entrepreneurs to share their current issues. And with my Facebook friends, that you can see some of them there, we would start organize gatherings, activist gatherings, concerts, art exhibitions, innovation workshops, everywhere we could. We did it in bars, in caves, in university campuses, and even in trains. We connected all those hundreds of entrepreneurs that we met with thousands of citizens who were eager to stand for the same cause, eager to help with their creativity, skills, and passion. And in the blink of an eye, this idea became a movement. 25,000 citizens got engaged for more than 1,200 projects in 100 cities around the globe. Our community was thriving, tackling huge issues that seemed impossible to solve, except if you're a head of state or in the UN. So let me give you a super concrete example. When the European Union decided to scale back the rescue operation for refugees in the Mediterranean Sea, two of our volunteers, Daniel and Camille, decided to take matters into their own hand. And with a German captain, boat captain, named Klaus, German name, they created a crowdfunding campaign to mobilize an entire community, fundraise 300,000 euros to put the first ever civil rescue boat in the water. And it's been 3 months that this boat, SOS Mediterranean, is in the water. And after 3 months, already 1,000 lives have been saved. So. When France decided that it would welcome just 30,000 refugees, another one of our volunteers, Emilien, worked with a social enterprise named Singa, and they built an online platform like Airbnb. And in a matter of days, you had 8,000 French people who said, we're ready to welcome refugees in our home in Paris. So the 30,000 number is so small because people are ready to do much more. And now many of our volunteers are working on the current challenges of the refugee crisis, helping refugees integrate in our society and get access to job market. When we launched Make Sense, it was just a simple idea, putting people together, the one who need help for their projects and the one who wanted to get involved. We couldn't imagine that it would become more than that. Our platform became a place where citizens have the means and the partners to make a difference. On the refugee projects I showed you, with all our volunteers and all the projects we worked with, we were able to tackle the 3 main challenges of this crisis, so it doesn't look impossible to solve. And states and government can't ignore us anymore. They need to get inspired by all these volunteers and citizens. And some, like the French president, are now contacting us so that we help them implement solutions with the citizens. And it's good news, because what we realize is that without governments, it will be complicated to achieve impact at a bigger scale. What we think is that active citizens leads, government follows, and technology enables. And if you think about it, we're the most powerful generation in human history. Like, we have the technology and the knowledge to solve every problem we can find. But we're also the last generation who knew the world before the internet. And that gives us a huge responsibility to use our power to connect and to create bridges between the generation that's coming after us and the one that came before and build all those institutions. It's people who change people, not technology. So our generation needs to be more civically engaged, not just tweeting and liking. Like, I come from an island, and like my grandpa, I realized what I was standing for was to preserve this island. But as my friend Ron Garon, a former NASA astronaut who turned social entrepreneur, made me realize one day, is that what I stand for is just a question of perspective. If you zoom out, you realize that at the end of the day, we're all on the same big island in the middle of a huge universe. So let's stand for it. Let's stand for our only island. And if we, as globally connected citizens, lead and implement solutions, the governments of our world will follow. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Is this not an impressive group of presenters?